Welcome back to Game 2 of Kipp vs. azder of the Randomizer League Finals. Game 1 was incredibly exciting. Kipp had a significant lead, and then got really unlucky with Dragon chain damage, which is pure luck.
Yeah,
and now you're in Game 2.
I'm still stressed out about that, honestly. But for the runner's sake, let's hope that this it's a much, I should say, cleaner race, decided just purely on one runner being faster rather than unfortunate deaths. Oh, and there's the ship I loved, the gray and red color kit.
That ship looks like it's some advanced AI out for blood.
Yeah, and so if this is the first time for chat watching chozo logic, basically the main difference is that all the items in the game are placed into the chozo statue locations.
So morph is guaranteed to be morph. The morph on the ceiling E-tank could be ammo. And this is the match which will determine whether we get a Game 3. So this is super exciting.
Yep.
Route divergence already. Keep going to the right first. Azder going down first.
Yeah, that Alpha PB location was our first, or I guess our second true chozo important location. Ooh, and okay,
Azder is just going up.
Yeah.
Azder just picked up Peeves and is heading straight back up.
There's actually one interesting quirk with chozo in that it can actually logically require you to take meme route. One of the few situations where that's possible.
No supers down here. There's a few E-tanks, but no supers, so this is paying off for Azder in a huge way.
Yeah, Kipp's already got 3 E-tanks up for just being thorough and checking more locations. Which, I mean, it depends, right? If you don't need the tanks, then that's fine, but I'd say having tanks early, at least a few, you feel a lot safer.
Dragon says that he needs the tanks. Dragon definitely says that he needs the tanks. And there is supers already, so no super hunt this game, no powerbomb hunt this game. Just a standard seed.
Yeah, thankfully for both runners, the meme route was not required this time. Ooh, and there's our chozo reserve. So, besides the items, of course, on the chozo statues, there will be 2 missile tanks, 2 super tanks, 1 powerbomb tank, 3 E-tanks, and 1 reserve tank. Yep, and decide to skip Gauntlet too. Now, Gauntlet could have a useful item, such as Charge Beam, but of course, in all logic, it can never have a suit, so runners tend to, at least deep in the playoffs, or at least the finals, skipping that check does save a lot of time in the beginning.
Azder the first to get to this chozo item. And we have Screw Attack.
Yep, always good to have Screw Attack early, although I guess not as important to these high-level runners. Wow, and he gets the reverse mock ball too.
Always an amazing to see.
Gets the backdoor Sports Bomb first try. This is also an item that's different compared to Major Minor.
And the super
Small
pack, it shows
supers.
the super pack. Vanilla is supposed to supers. Let's see what the charge location holds. So nothing for Kipp in the Etiquette pit.
Another early X-ray pickup too.
And Azder takes it.
Yeah, the runners actually were not able to use the microwave last seed. Hopefully this time they will be able to.
And Azder heading straight up again. Does Azder normally go up, or is Azder going up specifically against Kipp?
Well, so he likes to go up, but honestly, it's more of a judgment call type of thing with him. I know that because he can't do high jump with lava dive, he tends to actually go down if he has high jump boots. And also in Chozo seeds, you don't need speed booster to collect all the items in the wreck ship, and also this one item at Alpha PBs.
And there is plasma.
2/3 of the microwave. Yeah. I actually like to make the play to check Alpha PBs and sometimes go down after that. But I mean, Azder will probably head toward the ship now.
So, are you expecting another Azder half ship again?
Well, it actually makes a lot more sense here, just because there's only one item in the attic. So yeah, it's gonna be another calculated risk that the runners might take, depending on what they find in the other locations. And it looks like Kipp will diverge and goes down toward Crade.
Azder's gonna be trying to do another gauntlet check.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, he's going here first.
Without a save. Very little risk of dying, but...
There's our first Chozo missile for Kipp.
Very little risk of azder dying, but that means the azder will reset out. azder very gracefully gets to that, and incredibly quickly too. And this time it is going to take grapple. That is one part of a seatless Meridia.
Yeah, probably not too happy about it, but I mean, now he doesn't have to CWJ across the moat.
That one I'm sure will be happy about after last seed.
Yeah, actually, chat mentioning Shack Tool, that's a legitimate reason, actually. In Chozo, Shack Tool is often required location, and you would have to use Grapple if Ice Beam is locked behind in Deep in Meridia.
So now we have Kipp riding Parade, azder getting to Fanhoon soon. So azder is at 20 supers already. Oh, azder only has 5 missiles. azder would really like another missile pack before Fanhoon.
Yeah, it always sucks when the one time you're given a lot of supers, but you'd actually want another regular missile pack here. And yeah, he's gonna go check spooky missiles in hopes of finding another missile pack.
azder might actually go for an intentional enrage here. Oh, gets it. Such a clutch missile pack. Spring Ball.
Yeah, Spring Ball not nearly as useful in Chozo compared to Major Minor, but it could be an item to get the worst room in the game or a very possible suitless Meridia, even though those are rare.
Plasma was at 230, right?
Plasma was alpha
Beams, okay. We were wondering why Kipp didn't have plasma.
And Kipp is picking up more ammo. Interesting. So one quirk of the logic in Chozo actually is that Charge Beam is part of progression. The game requires you to have Charge Beam before Croc, if Croc's item is required. And it definitely requires you to have it before Ridley. So Charge is part of the logical progression in Chozo.
Interesting. So where's Kipp going now? Kipp not doing hell runs.
Yeah, he's...
Is Kipp going up to the ship? Kipp's gonna try... Kipp's gonna do X-ray.
I'm kind of surprised Kipp skipped Business Center at least before doing this. Yeah, he's going for the very early deboost strat for X-ray. Yeah, he has E-Tanks, which does help him a lot here. But he doesn't have a convenient way to get up besides a Spring Ball.
Yeah, after the last run, Kipp is absolutely going for it. Kipp is taking a ton of risks and just going for stuff this round.
Oh.
Oh no.
But he does have Spring Ball for the backup, and he nailed it last time, so confident he should have it here too. Yep, and he gets it.
Even without high jump.
Nicely done, yep.
That's why Kipp went here.
Oh,
and it pays off!
Kipp.
It pays off in a huge way.
Nice find. Now, I mean, not unfortunately for him, but azder will be able to get the item too, because he will have grapple and pick up the gravity on the way down. But obviously still very nice for Kipp to get that gravity suit right now without having to worry about where it could possibly be.
So are we going to see Kipp go to the ship or Meridia?
Well, unfortunately for Kipp, he can't really do anything in Meridian now, since he needs access to Bot Wound, and all the items in the Chozo Meridia are behind Botwoon, or I guess Shack Tool also.
You're right.
So yeah, he's just gonna go up toward the wreck ship.
So there goes the suitless dream. Oh, azder has to go for this. So we'd say that out of all the tricks that all the runners have done so far, this is the hardest one.
Gets a second try though.
Which is really, really impressive. Kipp with part 2 of the microwave theme. We are really, really excited about a potential game 3 with boss randomizer logic.
Alright, as you're gonna reset, seeing that E-Tank. And now it is the question of whether he will go up into the attic or skip it. And I'd say
expect
Kipp is...
azder to go up with this itemization. With screw attack, azder is going to be able to clear everything so easily.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Oh, and that beam combination. Azder's going to one-shot everything with the beam combination, or close to it.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that... Well, no, Kipp will probably have to go up there too. Because Kipp mainly wants, you know, either Various Suit or his access to Botwoon, which he won't find before going up to bowling.
And azder has grapple, which would mean that Kipp's early X-ray won't give much of an advantage.
Ooh, Kipp barely missing the spring ball strat across the moat there. Gonna settle for a gravity jump.
And very soon we're going to get to see what is behind bowling. Yeah, we would not be surprised. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Both of them are going to have a choice of... Well, no, they're not going to have a choice of ready or no fair. There it is! There's charge!
That is a very nice pickup. Now, azder might actually think that, you know, again, this is very, definitely big brain things, cosmic brain things, that could mean that Ranomizer has required progression, right? Just because if charge is accessible, then Croc is open. That might be the required logical progression.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how many risks both of them take.
And of course, meanwhile, Kipp with another nice Fantoon fight.
Are we going to not pretend that Croc doesn't exist this time? We will see. We're just here watching.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's less of a gamble in this situation, just because I'd say in any case, Croc is still going to be the last location they would check, just because there's only one item there. So if Croc does have the progression, they're just going to pick it up in the end. Since azder's about to pick up his X-ray, and that means he's going to have checked every location before going into Hell Runs.
Is it actually every location outside North Meridia checked?
Yes, they did not miss any locations.
azder using grapple strats. Black magic with one of the worst items in the game.
Oh yeah, Kipp having the gravity suit has a nicer time not having to use that sponge bath strategy that Azure did.
And it looks
Well,
like right
Azure,
now
it
they're
took his
both
gravity.
forced into hell runs. See, Azure has a pretty significant lead, just because of Azure's route means that Azure is spending less time going up and down the red tower, which is the same thing that happened last time.
Yeah, that kind of makes it, I'm thinking again about, Kipp's thoughts or his decision of the routing that he chose on going down to Kraid, but then immediately going back up after defeating Kraid. Because just from that route divergence, that's pretty much all of the lead Azure has.
Kipp does have a CF clip. That would be amazing if we saw a CF clip in this run. We don't know if any player in any race has done a CF clip without bombs.
No, Kipp skipped all of Norfair. He didn't even check Business Center.
Beautiful spring ball strats in that mini spring ball maze. So yeah, once we guess that we'll be able to check how close they are based on the time they enter LN.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Or not enter upper Norfair, I mean.
still need either Various Suit or Ice Beam / Speed Booster.
Kraid not being very nice at all to azder.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that was just
backup.
a random backup into 4 supers. That was amazing. That was amazing. We did not think that was going to work at all.
And actually, Kipp, unsurprisingly, he decided to go up to Attic too, and gets rewarded with his charge.
Ooh, azder not going that way.
Azure going left. Yeah, he's heading to Meridia. But the only possibility he has right now is Shack Tool.
Shack Tool.
And this is not a nice Shack Tool check, with only Spring Ball. Having to, it is a very difficult Spring Ball jump, and having to menu over and over again if you miss the jump. So I do like this play, but let's see how many times it takes for him to get the Spring Ball jump.
I'm really surprised that azder is doing this. Azder is an amazing setup to just... Oh, azder doesn't have the E-tanks to hell run.
Yeah, he skipped so many tanks. Because there were, I believe, tons of tanks that were just out of logic in the early game, especially that Azure just skipped the location.
Gonna gravity jump up there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this too. Very nice.
Beautiful, beautiful tech.
Absolutely nailed the gravity jump there.
Interesting. We did not expect. We'd forgotten about the E-Tank situation. The E-Tank situation would actually cost azder the race.
Yeah, so for chozo logic, you need at least. Well, see, I don't remember how many chozo E-tanks there have been. So, because you basically need at least 3 on chozo statues. So the ones not on the statues actually don't matter unless it's for harder hell runs like Wave Beam, Speed Booster, and X-Ray. Oh, there's an E-tank at Ice that actually might be the last tank to put hell runs in Logic.
Yeah, historically, the Ice Hell run has been only 2 tank.
All right, Azure killing Shack Tool. Let's see if that comes back to bite him.
Oh!
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 Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Azder is the cosmic brain of all cosmic brains.
This could be the tournament right here.
Yeah.
What a finals! What a finals! Chain damage in game 1, deciding the race, and then Shack Tool deciding the game. Shack Tool possibly deciding the game in race 2.
The thing with that being very astute is that Azur's going to save so much time with his routing. He can choose to go straight down, clear Ridley, and assuming that Kipp decides to commit to these hell runs, he's going to lose so much time looking for an item that he's not going to find. Yeah, and Kipp is, of course, going to commit with so many E-tanks available to him.
Kipp has to. The only other option is Shack Tool. And very few players would be willing to make that play. Especially down a game. It takes a very specific type of player to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, Azure still needs Ice or Speed, but he's likely gonna see that somewhere. Well, I mean, I assume Azure's going straight down to Lower Norfair, but
no, if Azure still needs,
oh no,
Azure still needs Ice or Speed. Azure wants to get as many power-ups as possible for LN.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that he would check more stuff on the way out of Ridley.
Definitely wants that E-Tank. Let's see what's the speed. Just another E-Tank. Not a bad pickup for Kipp at this point, but definitely not a good pickup.
Yeah, chat mentioning that Kipp could go suitless Lower Norfair. But he'd have to pick up at least another problem tank at a minimum to even consider it.
Yeah, and Kipp was not checking miners. Kipp also does not have grapple, which would make the LN Hell run significantly trickier.
Wait, actually, yeah, Tracy bring up a good point. I am a little surprised that Kipp ended up skipping Gauntlet. Because Kipp tends to be pretty thorough with checks, and it was not a huge detour for him to skip that location.
Okay, so there is bombs. There is that is the item that Kipp needs for CF clip. So if Kipp can CF clips, Kipp can get to Shack Tool. But now we're probably going to see Kipp check Croc.
Yeah, this is definitely very rough, especially because he still hasn't found his Ice or Speed yet.
Kipp won't be CF clipping. That's a massive, massive lead for Azder then. Especially if Ice and Speed aren't behind Croc.
Yeah, so because if Kipp found Ice Beam, at least that would have pushed him toward Meridia, and he would have gotten his various suit earlier. And now he has to bank on Croc having the item he needs.
So the grapple like Gauntlet actually makes the early Shack 12 a much better play. Because
Yeah.
of creating route divergence.
Although actually, if I can recall, was Shaq in Logic? I'm assuming Shaq was in Logic with just Spring Ball. I know that they changed the Logic for the playoffs. Yeah, I believe it was. So it was not like a sequence break that Azure did. And it looks like Azure will actually check these little mountain items first before going down.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Azure could find speed or high jump or space jump. Or ice.
Yeah, he could, but I would, I mean, out of respect, because he is a really good runner. So I thought that he might be okay with using Spring Ball to get through Worst Room, basically, since he has a really strong beam combo already.
Oh, Azure is completely okay with that. But why do these checks later when you're going to probably need to do them anyway, unless it's ice or speed and LN? You're giving up some seconds for a potential massive time save in LN and comfort in LN. And we're gonna get to see another green gate glitch.
First try for Kipp.
Oh, the other reason why Osher's doing this is Osher's going to take the new route straight to LN.
Yeah, definitely.
And there is a high jump boots.
Kipp's okay. It's a great item, but Kipp is really he has to really feel the heat right now.
Especially one of the only times that Kipp is not happy about high jump boots.
Yeah. It will be helpful because Azur's definitely not getting it. But unless he does the same exact gamble right now, right, and goes to Shack Tool, he's gonna be massively behind. Which he could actually.
Kipp is not CF clipping, so Kipp is either gonna have to CF clip or head to Gauntlet.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point too. Now that I think about it, I don't remember, or I don't recall him really skipping much besides Gauntlet. Oh wait, no, but he doesn't have grapple. You're right. He doesn't have grapple. So you would have to do some crazy clip in the Puyo room.
Oster, unfortunately, having some trouble with gravity jump.
Yeah, this jump is a lot more finicky without high jump. It looks like he pausing a bit too early, but alright, he gets the wall jump up. Yep, and he's fine now.
So can Kipp Crystal Flash Clip? That would be Kipp's one chance to come back. So the BTOM hallway, basically, if you have wave phaser or wave plasma, you just kind of stand there. You just repeatedly shoot while angled up, and eventually you can walk through the blocks for a short amount of time.
Yeah, it basically destroys like garbage blocks off screen. Ooh, and there's Ice Beam for Azder. That is go mode.
That looks like a solid one. Yep, and there we go. So all Asher has to do now is not die. Kipp having a lot of trouble with wall jumps. Kipp not having a good time at all.
And it looks like azder hopefully will go for the charge beam strat, one of my favorite, or charge right strats, basically. Absolutely
That was
nails
a
it.
beautiful jump. Yeah, so this is... Last race was Kipp's race to lose. This race is azder's race to lose. And azder's doing 3 tanks, so azder could easily end up being the one chain damaged.
Well, luckily for him, he will not be getting a speed booster before Dragon, so there's no chance of that, at least. I think speed booster has to be... Well, no, speed booster could be behind Ridley. Yeah.
Is azder even gonna check any more items to go? It would not surprise us at all if azder just went for it.
Yeah, that's true too. Because in his mind, he has...
Kipp.
He has... he has, I believe, 4 locations left. And both high jump and speed are good. As they're trying to go for the double, the charge beam strat to kill both pirates in this room.
Kipp's setting up for the CF clip. That's exactly what Kipp's gonna do now with his grapple. Kipp actually gonna take a ship refill. azder gonna have a really easy 20-shot Ridley.
I'm actually surprised Kipp took the refill, since he did have reserves, and it's logical. Obviously, Kipp's going to Shack full now. Yeah, and also this is going to be a much easier fight.
You do have a good point about there only being 4 items left for azder, which makes it significantly more likely for azder to find one of the movement items.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ridley check is worthwhile enough just because 2 of the items he would find are very nice.
And that is
even
a very
space
dead
jump
space pelican.
too.
And there we go. There's the check.
Ooh, there's speed booster.
azder doesn't know it, but that's the absolute worst item that azder could have found there.
Well, I mean, he does know that how Kipp died, so that could be.
azder doesn't know how far ahead they are. Like if they knew how far ahead. No, never mind. What are we talking about? azder can microwave. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah, even better point.
Yeah, so all azder has to do is not die to Mother Brain, and this race is basically azder's. Kipp is making a visit to everybody's favorite digging machine.
Yeah, and I agree. Chat mentioning how azder has to feel ahead. 100%, he has to feel ahead because I believe he routed it 100% optimally based on what he found. Going up the ship first and then getting Varia right away. And again, Kipp is an amazing runner, but azder has to believe also he has, in his mind, in this matchup, he has an advantage in terms of routing decisions. Because this is where, unfortunately for Kipp, that gauntlet skip really just completely cost him, pretty much.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Sometimes you make a gamble like that and it pays off. Sometimes you get completely wrecked for it. And this is the sort of seed where Kipp is just getting completely wrecked for it.
Yeah, the fact that Varys specifically was at Shack told Kipp is going to see it and knows that he has to be majorly behind now.
Yeah, Kipp went up and down the red tower way more times than he ever would in a race. And Kipp already knows that Varya is here. That's the only place that Varya could still be.
Well, I believe in his mind this could still be Ice Beam with Varya
you're
at
right.
like Dragon, yeah.
You're right. You're right. It could have been Icer Speed.
Yeah, this was just one of those rare seeds where Shack was the complete roadblock, which actually made grapple required because both Ice and Speed were buried.
And here we have azder well on their way to a very fast spot wound in Dragon fight. So you think that azder feels way ahead and is still doing three tanks?
Oh, sorry, I missed your question.
You think that azder feels ahead and is still doing 3 tanks?
Well, I know he tends to just stick with the 3 tank, and he has full beam combo, so there's not much reason to pick up any extra tanks.
Happy. We're gonna get to see a Happy. Or a Happy attempt, it looks like. No.
That's the rare lefty. I do not believe
never
I've
seen that before. Oh, azder is actually going for grapple strats. This is amazing. Outside of Hundo map, you really rarely get to see this stuff. Very short Dragon fight.
Yeah. When you have the full power microwave, it does not take many ticks to
azder is
take
off
her down.
G4. azder is now 2 bosses ahead, and Kipp has got to be feeling awful.
Yeah, Kipp is even forced to check this to grab his Ice Beam. Nice mid-air grapple jumps from azder here in the Coliseum.
This is azder's race to lose. This was such an unfortunate series for Kipp. And this sort of thing just goes to show you that how brutal randos can be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of what happened.
These were definitely not, I'd say, straightforward seeds.
Not straightforward seeds, and combined with the chain damage, with the luck and with the luck that Kipp got, this is the sort of showing where any of the top 16 could have beaten Kipp with this in this environment. Which isn't to say that Kipp is a bad runner, just like Kipp got immensely unlucky with chain damage and a really bad luck seed. And after Kipp gets Speed Booster, Kipp will be at full power. Actually, Kipp will be at full power other than Space Jump.
Yeah, I believe it's Space Jump and Spazer are behind, what is it, Dragon and Plasma Beam.
Unfortunately, in a competitive race setting, being at full power in a rando means that you've probably already lost. Oh, there's a double. Nope. Close though. Kipp very cleverly not even stopping for the farm, just going. And azder's gonna get to do a low percent speed Torian, low percent speed Metroid rooms. No, Kipp did not get chain damaged again. But Kipp skipped grapple, or Kipp skipped gauntlet, which ended up being grapple, which unlocked very attack tool. So really unlucky from Kipp. That was a really interesting claw grab. That looked like Ridley grabbed from quite a distance away.
I'd say majority of the top runners are totally fine, or like comfortable with using 3 E-tanks with a full beam combo and enough items. It just, so with Kipp, like he the reason why he picked up so many tanks was more because, again, he's playing a rando, right? Of course, in an actual race, or like if it's a race where he knows where everything is, he'd only probably pick up 3 E-tanks. But azder tends to attack randos this way, like picking up minimal items compared to other runners.
Kipp picked up a bunch of E-tanks because Kipp wanted to have hell runs be in logic, whereas azder was gambling on not having to do any hell runs. azder's gamble paid off.
Yeah, that's a very good point too, actually. Even though azder would probably be okay with around like 3 E-tanks for most of the hell runs.
Yeah, it's always an interesting question. If you can do something 90% of the time without dying, such as the 3 E-tank Mother Brain or 3 E-tank or 3 tank hell runs, should you grab an extra safety in a random? Speed zip skip attempt incoming.
Very nice. That was clean
Flawlessly
from
gets
azder.
it.
I mean, it's a question of debate. Like for example, I could argue azder maybe could have taken the save because his route was so good. He might be so far ahead. Might as well. But then he might also think, what if Kipp ran this really well too? It was really fast. I don't want to risk, right, losing all the time if I die to Mother Brain or something, even with the save.
So we're 20 charge shots away from azder taking down the series. Mother Brain's catch-up beam will one-shot azder, as will four onion rings will also kill azder. So azder has a lot of experience and will probably be fine. Okay, that meatball right there makes it very safe. That
Yeah.
meatball makes the first catch-up beam very predictable, because the first catch-up will happen as soon as the meatball blows up. And that is GG. azder has won the Randomizer League.
Yeah, actually, I
Roster's
personally just hate it when catch-up comes without like any further warning or prior warning.
That's why you have to just be watching Mother Brain's can super carefully. And hoping that you're in a low input lag setup. azder could get smacked by the Edikins and Decoras. Poor Kipp. Poor Kipp. This is definitely not the showing that Kipp wanted. Or the luck that Kipp wanted.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's only a best of 3, and we were unable to see the boss Rando again today.
Did any of the playoff games actually go to a game 3?
Very few, actually. I believe only one in the first round. I know that there's been like 3 or less that have gone to game 3 in the playoffs.
Out of 15 matches.
I can check the bracket actually.
3 game 3s.
Actually, okay, there were more than I thought. There was 1, 2. No, there were 3. Okay, yeah, exactly. That many.
Close, not a great down grab for Kipp, but still gets it very easily. Very nice, full happy. Well, it would be absolutely amazing if azder goes for the swag animal save here. We absolutely do not expect it, but that would be so swag if azder went for it.
I want him to, but he's not the type of runner to do something like that.
azder has played amazingly. Like, azder completely deserves these victories. azder went for it everywhere and didn't die.
Oh, definitely. I mean, kind of proved my point right that azder has the best decision making. He showed he had the best decision making in the league this year or this season.
And sometimes randos just come down to playing a solid game and having your opponent make mistakes. Super Metroid can kill you at any time, so many people have an opportunity to beat Zeus just because Zeus can die.
Yep, azder has finished with official SRL time of 54 minutes and 12 seconds. GG, and congrats to azder. He will be champion of the Randomizer League Season 2.
GG azder, amazing show, heading through the brackets so nicely, making it to the finals, and winning in 2 very decisive matches.
And it looks like Kipp will play this seed out for us.
And we have Kipp stopped.
Hmm. Yeah,
Looks like Kipp is going to finish out the seed.
Yeah, he was saying a couple things in chat. He probably will finish this one.
And we will have Kipp in for an interview. We don't know if Kipp is going to finish this first or not. And we have azder in the setup channel, so looks like we're going to have azder in here for an interview soon. Oh, and we have azder. How are you feeling? Congratulations on that amazing win.
Yep, GG.
Pretty great, thank you.
So yeah, those were two very, very interesting seeds, and you can probably tell that was not kind to Kipp and his a combination of bad luck and just unfortunate decision making just really put him behind both races.
Yeah, we aren't sure if you know how much about what happened in both races.
I heard the first race he died to Dragon. Second race, I'm not sure. I expected him to be right on my tail, honestly.
In the second race, Kipp went down to Norfair, up to the wreck ship, down to Norfair again without checking Gauntlet.
Well, actually, he skipped all of Norfair. He did Kraid and then went straight up the ship without checking Business Center. So he ended up having most of the same checks, but his big loss was he skipped Gauntlet, so he didn't have the access to Shack Tool. So Shack Tool, like, he had to go all the way back up to Gauntlet after checking everything else, and then the Shack Tool. And we're now joined by Kipp, also. GG Kipp. Good match to you.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, can hear you.
Sorry, it took me a second to get everything set up.
So how are you feeling?
Well, the first game was obviously unfortunate. It's hard to say what would have happened after that, but this one, I'm honestly surprised I got beat by so much. The way the items were laid out, I thought for sure this would be a both of us kind of in Tori and our Mother Brain at the same time. Maybe it'll make more sense when I go back and watch it, but given that this one was so very specific with where you had to go with the items, like I made the comment in the SRL, I was like, this must have been the single most Cosmic Brain performance of all time. So what happened in this one?
Basically, azder, what he did was went to ship first, which saved him time, and then after Kraid, went straight to Shack Tool before Norfair. So basically, he completely...
Wait, say that again?
He went to Shack Tool after Kraid, because he was able to get grapple from Gauntlet to get gravity at X-Ray. So he had both gravity and spring ball and grapple. That was his access to Shack Tool.
So he went straight to Shack Tool after killing Kraid?
Yeah, he did ship and then Kraid.
Yeah, so I don't think that's literally absolute 100% perfect routing on a seed that requires you to do things in a very specific order. So I can't really say anything about that. I don't feel bad about my performance. There's really nothing you can do against something like that.
Yeah, we were saying the exact same thing. I don't think he could have routed it any better. And I think what really hurt you was that just the way that some of the items were laid out, because grapple was the only way to Shack Tool, and both ice and speed were buried. So this was a complete just roadblock of a seed that he had to completely nail.
That is totally bonkers. But yeah, GG, man. I mean, that's kind of what I expected. I told everybody that I felt like in this matchup I'd be a slight underdog because he has, a lot more experience. Especially, I think he understands the Varia randomizer in particular a lot better than I do. I think a lot of people do actually. But yeah, this is an unwinnable seed against somebody who runs that route. So I still feel like I played pretty well. The only thing that I look back on this seed and would have done differently is I considered going to Gauntlet right after I did the ship. And you mentioned that him going ship first saved some time. Like, how did he end up getting over there? I don't remember what our item set was. What was his method for getting into the ship?
He went to Gauntlet first, so he just used grapple.
That's cool. So yeah, other than, I mean, I didn't lose a significant amount of time routing from Kraid back up. Like, that's only like a minute or something like that. But yeah, so I feel pretty good other than that about my performance. Felt like I played pretty well. I felt like I played okay in the first one. I hate those seeds where they, dump a ton of missiles on you and they don't give you a super or a power bomb or whatever until a specific location. So I was nervous the whole time, about, oh man, if supers are at Spore Spawn, then this is not good for me, especially if a super missile is at the tube. In Green Hills, because I figured he had a decent chance of doing the meme route, which I don't do. And I kind of hate the fact that meme route in certain seeds can literally be the difference between winning and losing. So I was a little nervous, but once I saw regular missiles at the tube, I was like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. But I thought I played okay in the first seed. I was told I was a little bit ahead when I got killed. That wasn't even a normal chain damage. That's the kind of chain damage where I could have had 50 E-tanks and I still would have died. So it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes.
It's actually funny because you both last location super missiles. Azder found super missiles at Billy Mays while you grabbed yours at Spore Spawn. So you were a little bit ahead in the beginning and you gained time
Wait. He got supers in the Billy Mays room that's above the beta missiles?
Yes.
In game one, yeah.
Because he did take meme route, so his route, because he had no supers, Billy Mays was closer to him.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's really unfortunate then. I guess that makes a lot of sense because tracking back down to Spore would be terrible. That would have been really bad if super missile hadn't been there. But yeah, so it was a good season. I think, what did I end up with? Something around 15-3, I think. And I really wasn't honestly expecting to get this deep into the playoffs, so I feel pretty good about my performance. And on to the next thing, I guess.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think he played amazingly, considering I believe he kind of took a break, in between the first tournament and all the way up to the second season here. So I mean, from the races I saw, your mechanics were completely on point. In the finals, it was just really, really unlucky and unfortunate. Just kind of the seeds you were getting, because both of these seeds were very awkward, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think these two seeds really represent what the general league seeds were, if that makes sense. I think these were two of the not most extreme in terms of what it asked you to do, but there wasn't really any way in these seeds to leverage any kind of actual speedrunning ability. It's all about, did you go to the right place, And so in seeds like this, some of the advantages that I might have against the field are probably going to be a little bit less. But then again, in the flip version, then there's going to be things about it that can help me. So it just depends on the seed. And unfortunately for me, this one didn't really shake out in my favor.
And that's something which happens with randos. GG on making it to the finals, and you put on a wonderful show.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, Rando's been a big part of what I've been doing lately, obviously with this tournament, with the playoffs, and then the Dash tournament we had, I think a couple weeks ago. So it'll be kind of nice to take a little bit of a break. We're going to keep working on updating the Dash Rando. We got some new features we want to work on. And then other than that, I'll probably just do some try to get back to my 80%. And I think Zost and Zenny and I are going to do some 3-player co-op pretty soon, 100%. So it'll be kind of nice to take a bit of a break. It's been a while since I haven't been in a tournament. So I'll just chill for a little bit, and then we'll see what the next community tournament is going to be, which I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I just want to go ahead and say this on record. It'd be pretty awesome if it was multi-category again. I thought the multi-category tournament was really fun, and I'm hoping that we get another chance to do one of those in the future.
It'd be pretty awesome if we actually got a low percent.
Yeah, exactly. But I understand too why that was left out to the end. I mean, we want community tournaments to include as many people as possible, and having low percent's probably not going to be the best way to do that. So
randomly in like the top 8. So also like how the Gravet Dragon never showed up in this either. Sort of the same kind of thing.
Yeah, we ended up not having a single Gravity Dragon seed in the playoffs for Chozo, did we?
No, yeah. And I was I just wanted to see more actually game 3s, because I think boss randos are some of the most interesting, and most of the time helps even just create more like divergence in routes without having like railroaded situations like we did today.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, Azure, GG, man, and good luck with your Super Metroid Impossible. I think you're still going for the world record, right? And I think you got a PB a couple days ago, something.
Yeah, I got a 157, and then Oates got 148 the same day. So it was like a really, really good day for the game. But yeah, I am still trying to take that from him, even though he got a better time. So
cool. Well, yeah, guys, I will step out and let Azure finish the interview. But thanks for a great season. I want to thank Tracy and the organizers. Obviously, this is a lot of work. I mean, I did a one-day tournament a few weeks ago, and it was a ton of work, and it was only for one day. So I can only imagine, how much effort and time goes into getting everybody ready for Restream, getting all the matches, building the spreadsheet. So thank you to the organizers. We had a great season. Thank you to everybody at Speed Gaming for, Restreaming and giving us the opportunity to do these races, which are always a ton of fun. And thank you guys for commentating, and everybody else that commentated. It's always a little, I think it's fun when you get to kind of get to the very end of the season and reflect on everything that you did and how much fun it was. So just thanks to everybody for participating. I had a really good time this season.
And GG Kipp, thank you so much for putting on all these amazing
great
shows.
season, yeah. GG Kipp.
So how I decided on Shaxful was basically just how often Shaxful gates stuff and Chozo, and the fact that there were really it was all dead end options at that point. So I just thought Shaxful won out over everything else, and it was the kind of thing where it was like, I figured if Kipp was also in my situation, this would be the kind of thing where he'd like kind of roll his eyes and be like, oh, Varia, Rando, Chozo, it's always going to be at Shaq. So I figured it was pretty reasonable to go for that.
Yeah, I think I personally, I saw you go for that. I think I've forgotten that it was actually in Logic already.
We had like no E-tanks either. Like it was, it was like 1 or maybe 2 Chozo tanks that I had at that point. So it's like, well, Norfair is a dead end. It's like 2 items, but that's an elevator ride one. There's not even Logic. Meridia is just Shack Tool, and I full cleared our ship already. So it's, probably Shack Tool. Like even if it's not Varia, it's probably like still Icer Speed or whatever.
Yeah. Well, were you consciously going for like less E-tanks in the beginning? Because that race, if you watch it back, Kipp had a ton of E-tanks because a lot of the locations you were skipping were just out of Logic E-tanks. And
I skip a lot of, especially if I get a power bomb right off. If I get Chozo power bomb right off the bat, I skip a lot of minors in Chozo.
Okay, yeah, because I think what happened to Kipp was he he found his logical. I think it was one he tanked one reserve tank on Chozo, and he found the third one at Ice Beam, and then that pushed him to Hell Runs.
Oh yeah, so actually yeah, because the two of them would have put that in logic for the third one, and then because playoff logic uses the mania difficulty for the Hell Runs 3 would have been enough. Oh, also, Game 1 Suitless Meridian play ended up completely useless. I felt like that hurt me a lot, but that it was like, with getting high jump from Wreck Chip and nothing else, it was kind of something I had to do, and I figured if Kipp didn't get high jump, he's going to high jump plus lava dive and try and press that advantage, so I better press this one.
Yeah, I think in retrospect it made a lot more sense because you mentioned how you're specifically going for a strategy of skipping Ranomizer. Because were you saying that you thought Kipp would tends to go to Croc, or you thought he would go to Croc?
It was more that the scariest possibility for me in that seed was that if Kipp went down and got to skip most direction, and that if he went down, then he probably checked Croc already, and if charge is at Croc already, then I probably already lose. So if I'm going to make a charge play, it should be for not Croc. That was my logic. Not he tends to go there, but just that the way that seed played out, I was hoping he went down, and if he'd gone down, he would have checked Croc already.
So actually, since Kipp's already kind of had his thoughts, I mean, I don't know, what are your thoughts overall on, I guess, how the season went, or even like any feedback you have on your experience? Like, obviously, you're elated to win this big tournament, but as a whole, we've all been, I imagine the league's grown a lot, and even I'll try to join it next year. So yeah, I guess what are your just kind of overall thoughts?
Well, I don't mean any disrespect to anyone that was in my division, but I did not have a very challenging division. So it was kind of like a lot of weeks of playing weaker players and then going to playoffs. And I'm super happy with how I did in playoffs. And I did drop a game in my division, which was a bad chozo decision, basically something I hadn't experienced before. But yeah, it was the way it was seeded. I felt like there were less exciting matches in the divisions themselves, especially with no cross division.
Yeah, I mean, understandable since it's still, I mean, this is only the second season of a very like newer community. So, but I mean, just seeing, a lot of people passionate about Rando is a great thing to see. So there's already been lots of discussion on how the league plans to, what changes they'll make for season 3 and beyond.
Yeah, I think either way, it'll be fun. It's fun to get any meta races in, but there are things that could be said about how it went. Also, the variety between Major, Minor, and Chozo really was nice. I didn't get to end up playing too much Boss Rando, which is probably good for me since I tend to make bad decisions on it, and it's really chaotic. Like, honestly, I felt like Game 3 Boss Rando would have been a really, it's a really harsh punishment for dropping one of your games, because I think Boss Rando makes it a lot more of a toss-up. Who wins that third game?
Which makes it a very, very exciting game for the viewers.
It does. I didn't get any Game 3s, which is actually like I feel like it's pretty insane for me because my playstyle and especially like my consistency and the level of risk that I tend to play at. I dropped a lot of games, and I didn't drop any in the playoffs.
I mean, I like to joke that all your bad luck or whatever went into the open races and stuff. So you played cleanly in the actual meaningful matches.
I guess so. I forfeit most of those. I think I saved more in this set than I think I ever had before. It was insane, and it wasn't like for safety. It was just because places it made sense to save, like save scumming power bombs for Gauntlet or Shippy Tank or whatnot, or making sure I could get back to Croc if I left charge there or something.
Yeah, so GG and congratulations on winning the league. You put in an amazing showing. You had a lot of luck go your way, but everybody who wins a rando tournament has a lot of luck go their way.
Yep, GG. We'll actually be joined by Tracy very shortly for her wrap up of the season. Freya's, as there any final thoughts?
GG, and thank you to everybody so much for watching this. Any last thoughts, azder, before we hand it off to Tracy?
No, not really. Just thanks to the league admins and the restreamers for going to the trouble to restream a lot of games on the one channel that we have, Randomizer League, and just going to a lot of effort to get the group matches set up. We had a lot of matches this season, there being 7 divisions, so
Yep, and also I'll mention to thank you to Speed Gaming too for setting up so many playoff matches, and also having to deal with kind of putting each match on different channels, and thankfully getting the main channel for the finals.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Hey, Tracy.
Hey. Yeah, so we're just going to wrap this up. But first of all, thank you, Plumps and Freyas, for commentating this race. Great job. I really enjoyed it. Didn't have to do it myself. Don't get me wrong. I love commentating, but sometimes it's just nice to sit back and watch. Congratulations, azder. I know it's been a tough few months for you, and I'm just so happy to see you win this. And congratulations to Kipp for coming in second place. Hope if you're still listening, Kipp. Couldn't have asked for a better finals matchup. I was really excited to see 2 good friends of mine play. But the good news is one of my friends wins. Bad news is one of my friends loses. So unfortunately, that's the way it works. But congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
And I have a whole lot of people I want to shout out. First of all, I started to try and list all the people that did commentary, and the list just got too long to thank everybody. But and same with the trackers. Setting these up, every day it's a message to the commentary channel. Here are the races. Can you do them? And generally, people responded, doing tracking, doing commentary. I do want to shout out the people who restreamed. I really hope I'm not missing anybody. And this is outside the admins. All the admins there share restreaming, so I will also shout them out. But actually, I'll start out with the admins. We had myself, Ponk, D-Drag, Android Dreams, and Shalashoska, giving up a lot of their time to do restreams, and just to do league stuff in general and help setting everything else up. I know I do a lot of the work, but I couldn't do it without those other 4 guys helping me out. Restreamers, Cheese Reaver, Rasu, 123, Snake, Plump, Siberian, Metroid, MST. did a ton of the restreaming. I really hope I didn't forget anyone, because that's a lot of work, and again, you're giving up your time to set up the race, to put it on the restream, and a lot of times when you're restreaming, you're tracking too. So definitely a shout out to all of them. Also a shout out to Shell again, and also to Total for letting us use their servers. Without that, we wouldn't have a channel to restream off. So big, huge shout outs to those guys. Shout outs to all the runners. Also, Fiesel for letting us use the Speed Gaming channel. Kekum and Shoyu, who's also one of my contacts to Speed Gaming. Miss Metroid, also, and Minded Me, who does a lot of our restreaming, and all the other people on the Speed Gaming team. You guys are wonderful. We love you, and I hope we can continue to have the playoffs and have nice weekly races like this. We had hoped to have an announcement about the next Super Metroid tournament, not league. Unfortunately, those guys haven't figured but do expect them to figure it out soon. So there will be a tournament coming up soon. I don't know the category. I know there's been a lot of talk of possibly doing a multi-category, at least from the people who want a tournament, as opposed to the actual organizers. But I have no knowledge of what goes on there. It's enough for me to do the randomizer league. I leave the other tournaments to those guys. They do a wonderful job, especially Farrell and Balthazar holding down the fort for those guys. But yeah, expect an announcement for that soon. Season 3, you're probably all wondering when that's going to happen. All I can say is it won't happen for a little while because we all need a break. But I would expect probably sometime after the next tournament ends, get season 3 going. So it'll be several months, but there will be a season 3, and there may be some changes. As Azder was talking about some of the divisions, we did find he's right. There were a lot of mismatches, which is not really good for anybody. The better player has an easier time, and the weaker player feels a little defeated. I actually thought the division I was in was kind of a nice one because I thought we were all pretty evenly matched, which was nice, but a lot of the divisions weren't like that. So we are talking about possibly doing a 2-tiered setup. We haven't quite figured out how that's going to work, but there is a channel in the Discord where we've been talking about it. It is let me find that channel. Oh, it's just called Next Season. Or if you have any ideas for how we should do that, we're open to any ideas. I can't guarantee. I mean, we're open to listening to any ideas. I can't guarantee that we'll use any of them, but yeah, definitely keep an eye on that, and and hopefully we're gonna get a survey out soon. I'd hope to have that ready ahead of time, but I just started teaching classes again this semester, so my time is a little bit lessened, and the other items are pretty busy as well. So we'll hopefully get that in soon, so you can all share all your ideas of what we should do next. Because I don't know whether we're going to do one type of randomizer, or a bunch of different types of randomizer. I mean, really, a lot of that depends on what you all want. Because, you know, like I've been saying all along, there are definitely certain randomizers I don't want to play. But if like 20 people say that's what they want to do, then that's what we're going to do, because it's not about me. It's not about the admins. It's about what you all want. And that's what we'll do next. But yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, Plumps, Freys, do you want to close us out, since you're our actual commentators, and I'm just here to again thank you two for I know, and some of it was last minute. I mean, you originally signed up for all 3, but we had another person drop out. So thank you all for at the last minute just coming in and doing all 3 races, or what could have been all 3 races. And we're really happy to have had you.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you to everybody who helped put on this league. Thank you to all the race streamers. Thank you to all the trackers. Thank you to all the commentators. And thank you to all the runners who put on such amazing shows and came out week after week after week to make this amazing tournament happen.
Yep, yeah. Thanks for especially you, Tracy, and all the other admins who set the league. I mean, every time I help out or commentator, track a race, it's always extremely enjoyable. Just because just watching rando races is just fun and just interesting. Really, it's the nature of rando.
Oh,
Did somebody say nature random?
Well, that's your job to make that. We've I don't think we've mentioned Immensive this entire time. He's done a ton of tracking this season and a lot of the playoff tracking, and he was the one doing it today. So definitely want to do a big shout out to Dimensive for everything he's done the last few weeks.
Hey, Azzer, you
Thank
can
you so
tell
much.
Gala to make Nature Rando next.
I sort of half made it, and then I got lazy, and then life happens. I don't know.
Sounds like we have a vote for the next league to be Nature Randos.
I mean, I just said in chat, maybe just have more hacks, different hacks.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So Galamos and I have been the main people, basically hacking Dusty's Rando to use a ROM hack instead of the original, and just like editing the logic basically. And Gala has done a great job of. It's made Project Base, Hyper, and Z Factor, and I've done a terrible job of having issues with the logics that I made for Legacy and Redesign and Nature, and then not having time to finish them. But I kind of want to. Hack Total's version of the randomizer instead, because it's I like the fill algorithm better. There's major, minor, and problem is I don't actually understand how the algorithm works, and since I edited the locations, it's throwing a bunch of exceptions, so I need to figure out what it wants from me.
All right, then. I think that's going to do it for us. But yeah, I don't expect hacks to be the randomizer of choice next season. But you know what? Like I said, if enough people ask for something like that, you never know what could happen. So, but yeah, I'm going to leave it to you again. I'm going to leave it to Plumps and Freyas to close us out. Again, thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Speed Gaming for putting up with us this long post game.
And thank you so much, Tracy, for this entire event.
And a big congratulations to Azder and Kipp for the finals here, and everybody else that made it to the playoffs, and everybody else who participated.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy.
Any last words from anybody before we close this out?
Not much. Just it was a great season 2 from everyone involved, and I'm definitely looking forward to season 3. That's for sure.
Thank you so much for everybody who played. Thank you so much for everybody who helped put this on. Thank you everybody so much to watch, and we will see you all next mission.
Yeah. Good night, guys.